So if the Lagna Lord Dispositor is placed in Mrigasira Nakshatra, for example,
Okay.
in that case, the life pattern is to be perceived from Mrigasira and its traits.
More so from
Right.
the Mrigashira, and also you have to mix the Lagna Lord's cusp, I mean the Lagna's cusp and the Lord's cusp as well.
Okay, okay. All the three together.
So what I would rather suggest is, let's suppose there is a Lagna cusp in Mrigashira, okay, and you find another horoscope with the Lagna cusp in Mrigashira. Both will not be the same, because one may have the Lagna cusp in other nakshatra and the Lagna Lord in another nakshatra. So the 20% and the 10% would also matter, and they will completely alter the whole picture.
Yes, yes.
So so the point is, do not think that your just the dispositor is going to play. So do not think, the moment you say both are Mrigashiras, the Lagna dispositors of two different horoscopes, do not think that they exactly have the same traits. No, they will not, because the Lagna cusp is different and the Lagna Lord's cusp is different.
Okay, all three together have to be considered to come to a wholesome understanding.
Yes. So that's why I said the number of the 60% from the Lagna's cusp and the 20% or the 30% from the 60% from the Lagna's dispositor and the 30% from the cusp and 10% from the Lagna's Lord would not just mean mere numbers. So it's not that just you take the 60%, so more you should get from Rohini. No, it's not like that. So, and also one more thing one has to understand is, there are certain nakshatras which would influence more on a house. Assuming Bharani, I'm muting you, Girish Sharma Garu. Okay. You have a question, follow-up question after this, you may ask.
No, sir. I'll keep my.
Yeah. So when you have, there are certain nakshatras, like Bharani is there. Bharani is more towards the fourth house, because in the Bharani stories you will see that the mother is a problem. And in the Bharani, there is one more story between Yama and Yami, who have got the relationship issues. So it's more about the relationships, and you have more about the mother. So if the seventh somehow gets connected to Bharani, or the fourth gets connected to Bharani, so you will get more of the four result from the Bharani, because there is more to do in Bharani for the fourth. Then let us suppose you have got sixth lord or something else, they will get a very, very low result from Bharani. The other two nakshatras which may have sixth house may dominate. Hope you're able to follow what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So
thank you.
So depending on the nakshatras thing, whatever houses it may rule, those nakshatras will be prominent. It was a very good question. So let us suppose you have Ashwini, then you will have more about the fifth house, correct? So if the fifth house gets connected to Ashwini, then it is more dominant, because fifth house deals with promotions, fifth house deals with children. So the moment you see fifth house getting connected to Ashwini, you have to be sure, then 80% of the Phalita will come from Ashwini, no matter if it is the fifth lord or the fifth dispositor or the fifth cusp. So then Ashwini will be very prominent there, having got connected to the fifth house. So you cannot take certain things hard and fast. However, if the dispositor lord of the fifth house, despite being connected as a fifth cusp, let us suppose the fifth cusp is in Ashwini. Now your dispositor is completely dominating that off, and making the the boss and the employee relationship to be very good by being placed in Bharani, etc. Then you may say that, okay, it's not about the boss thing, so promotions are not affected, then maybe the children are affected. Okay, hope you're able to follow what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Had it been the 10th one, maybe 10th cusp, then that boss thing would come into picture.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Right, sir. Thank you. It's clear.
Yeah. So look at the stories or the theme of the nakshatra. We call this the theme of the nakshatra. So whatever the theme dominates, if it connects to a certain houses, be clear of those houses. So, okay, Bharani is there. So the fourth house, if it gets connected, yes, more Bharani will dominate. Seventh house gets connected to Bharani, yes, the seventh house will be very dominant thing for the Bharani, because although it's a brother and sister relationship, despite that, Bharani will be very dominant because it's a relationship thing. So anyways, seventh gets connected, despite being just the cusp, it would still dominate very highly. There is some trait that goes into either the partner, could be the wife, or could be the business partner, or it can be the 10th from the 10th house, so it can get connected to the occupation as well, because by bhavam, what happens is the 10th house, if you calculate 10th from the 10th, that moves into the 7th house, so even from there it can get connected. So it can give you a boss thing, wherein your boss will be very caring for you, like a mother. Okay, any more people to share any feedback?
Sir, this is Nagu.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Actually, if you can bring up the Jagannatha Hora.
Okay.
I think it's on your other monitor. We don't see it.
Yeah, I'll give it. Can you see it now?
Yeah. So if you go to the basics tab.
Okay. I'm here on the basics tab. Yes.
Yeah. On the bottom, you see key info and houses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do I understand this, sir? Start and end is there of a cusp, but in between the cusp degree is different. So the first house starts at 5 degrees.
There are two ways of reckoning this. So equal houses is what we are going by. There is one. If you right click on this, can you see my the right click thing?
Yep.
Okay. So there is equal houses, 30 degree each is what we are using right now. Okay. There's one more option called as Porifiri Sripati Paddhati, wherein the houses are not equally distributed. Okay. There are two ways of looking at it, but we are taking equal house distribution so that the cusp is the same.
Yeah, I mean to ask, the first house here starts at 5 degrees till Virgo till this thing, but the cusp in between is different. So the cusp is lying in between that. I mean, usually the house should start from the cusp degree itself, right?
No. Cusp is always the midpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, and you deduct 15 degrees from it, you have the starting point. You add up 15 degrees to it, you have the ending point. That's why you see when you remove 15 degrees from 20, you have 5. When you add up 15 degrees to 20, it will be 35. So it moves on to the next house 5 degrees.
Right.
So cusp would mean middle of the house. Cusp would mean middle of the house.
Yeah. So here in this example, I would say that is the first cusp lord is Mercury.
Yeah, obviously the first lord is Mercury. So the first cusp is in Hasta.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Understood, sir. Thank you.
Has anybody got? I mean, is there anyone who's not understood anything in the lecture, or you did not find the lecture interesting? It was very boring or something. Any feedback of that sort? I would believe the lecture was interesting, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's good, sir.
Unless you have more questions, we would call it a day for now.
I have one more question, sir. So, you said, like in general about Kritika or any star. So, does it depend on the planet occupying it? Like, suppose if Jupiter is in Kritika, so we more connected to Jupiter is wisdom, so more connected to God. If Mars is there, more aggressive. So, can we connect it in that way?
I would partially agree and I would partially disagree to your point. Is that if you think Jupiter connected to God, yes. If you think Jupiter connected to education, yes. But just not go by the karakatwas of the planets. Always look for the ownership of the planet. I mean, if Jupiter becoming the 5th and the 8th lord will do something else. Jupiter becoming the 7th and the 10th lord will make you something else.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is important is the lordship of the planet. More importantly than that, what houses is it dispositing? Is it dispositing any planets? So that becomes even more powerful.
Oh.
That's what I said, right? If it becomes a 5th dispositor, 5th lord's dispositor, then Jupiter is carrying more of the 5th lord's energy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just merely having Jupiter in the Kritika would do nothing. I mean, it can do anything. Let's suppose there is Jupiter in Kritika, it would stay for 1 year. Okay. Anybody who has but the Lagna would be changing every minute, right? It would keep changing every minute. The Lagna is progressing in the nakshatras. So
okay. So he's representing different characters.
Yes, he's representing different houses. So if just take this example, Jupiter is in Kritika now. Okay, look at this. This Jupiter is in Kritika. Now he is the 7th and the 10th lord. But what is he dispositing now? He is dispositing the Mars, Moon, Mercury, and Rahu. All 4 of the planets are being disposited by Jupiter now. So Jupiter becomes the dispositor of Mars, Moon, Mercury, and Rahu. So he is the dispositor of the Lagna Lord himself. He is the dispositor of the 3rd and the 8th Lord. He is dispositor of the 11th Lord. He is dispositor of the 6th Lord Rahu as well. I mean, half 6th Lord Rahu as well. Okay. That's how you have to look at it.
Oh.
That's more important. So anybody who has these dispositions, so 1st Lord dispositor would mean 1st and 10th Lord's dispositor, yes. So this person is very greedy about the fame. He would work for the fame. Okay.
Oh.
That's how you would conclude. He would try to be very greedy for fame. He wants to achieve success by hook or crook. He wants to progress in life. He wants to earn money because it's there in the Taurus. The 1st Lord is in the Taurus. Wants to earn money. He wants to be successful, earn money. Where he wants to earn money? Because the 1st 10th Lord dispositor went into the 9th. He want to earn money with foreign sources or get appreciation from the father or follow what father has done and improve his business. Can be any of these because Jupiter also will represent father. He's the natural 9th Lord.
Oh. Okay, sir. Okay. Understood. So it should be a holistic approach. It's not like just from one planet or one star.
Yes, it should be a holistic approach. Unless you have the horoscope, because each horoscope, if I just move, what is the time now? 15:55 in this, right? If I move even 5 minutes, the whole thing will change. Because the Lagna cusp is going to fall in Chitta, first pada. The cusp has changed. The whole thing is going to change. Okay.
Yeah. Got it, sir. Thank
you.
Yeah. So, sorry, sir. So, when you're telling about the Jupiter takes 1 year, so in terms of predicting something from this chart, so for today the Jupiter is in Bharani, it will give the results related to Bharani. And then when it moves to Rohini after a couple of months, then it starts giving Rohini's results. I mean to say, we are before in predicting, like, do we need to look at the transit?
No.
And then
this is not transit. I'm saying this as a birth chart. I've just taken this as a birth chart. Somebody is born now, May 5th, 2024 at around 15:55, would have the Hasta as the Lagna, 4th house, cusp, and the first lord is in Revati, and the first lord's dispositor is in Kritika. Because the dispositor is very powerful, I have taken first the Kritika. Then now I will add Hasta into it. He wants to do everything of his own hands, is what Hasta is. He wants to do everything of his own hands. I'm now adding the 10th house. 10th house has Arudra in it. So this person is highly knowledgeable on the stuff that he knows, because 10th house is the work or the profession. And he is placed in the Revati and moved into Kritika as a dispositor. I'll add up all these three and make a single theme for him.
right.
Okay. But what would he be more interested in? Would be the dispositor. Now he's crazy for fame, crazy for money. He wants to work hard for fame and money, which is not wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
As we do examples, you would get to understand it. The only trouble with this is because adding up each nakshatra at each level may not be there right now, because I have not taught you Hasta, because I have just added up Hasta because I know what Hasta is. I haven't taught Hasta yet to you. So whatever nakshatras we have taught, only we will talk about them, so that the result is only half baked. Let it be half baked. There's nothing wrong. Let it be half baked for till the time you complete all your 27 nakshatras. Things will be only half baked, because you do not know about the other nakshatras. Right now, you know only 23 and 24 are unknown to you. I don't want to add any of them. It's just because you have asked me how are we looking at, I have explained it. So what I will do is the moment, let's suppose this is 15:55, right? The moment I try to change it to 16, which is just only 5 minutes away from this time, the whole thing is going to change, or maybe a little while later. 16:05 if I make, 16:10 if I make, the whole thing is going to change. This fellow goes into Chitta. The whole thing will change. Now this fellow is not going to do anything with his own hands. He will depend on somebody else. He will deploy people to do this, and still would be looking at earning money. But the work is not done by him. That's the biggest change in the personality. Okay. He deploys work or allocates work to 10 people, collects information from all of them. That's Chitta. Very descriptively gives SOPs to people, asks him, look, I have written clearly what you have to do. Take this paper, follow all the rules. Do not deviate from any of the rules. That's what Chitta will say. Okay, come here, all 5. I have given you 5 papers. Do all the work and come back. Okay, now I am building an empire because I'm greedy for money. Greed, don't take greed as a wrong thing. Take it on the positive side as well. I mean, somebody is trying to earn money, which is not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So as the nakshatra changes, every planet is just the same. See, the D1 has not changed. Only one nakshatra changed. The whole theme changed.
Yeah.
Yes, madam. Somebody has a question.
No, sir. I'm just adding. Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe it all depends on the afflictions also when we come to the characteristics. If it is, they'll become negatively greedy if there is afflicted, and they may be ambitious or like just do their duty if it's in the like more of too much this thing. So
I don't want to be judgmental. I would not rate anyone to be negatively greedy or anything, because there is nothing called negatively greedy or earning the money. Because if you are earning money, let's suppose you want to sell a soap. Okay, you are selling soaps. You want to sell a soap. The whole world is already using a soap. You have to kill somebody else's business and your soap has to be sold. That's how the whole world works. Okay. So do not think if my soaps are sold, then I'm greedy, right? So there is nothing called negatively greedy, positively greedy. There's nothing like that. Any person who is earning money is committing a sin, because you are not giving somebody else the chance to earn that money in the same domain. You're selling a software, let's suppose. If you're not selling, stopping yourself, you're actually allowing the other person to live a life, right? So you are actually doing negative thing, negative karma. So there is no end to this. What is right and what is wrong? Let's not be judgmental. That's what I'm saying. So greed would never mean wrong. Okay. Even if Ambani sits in front of you, somebody has negative vibes for Ambani, or Adani sits in front of you asking what would be my next move. He's already greedy. He must be having all negative planets inside Kritika. No, it's not like that. Don't be judgmental. It cannot happen so. Everybody who is working or everybody who is into some kind of earning is doing some kind of injustice to somebody else, because if you're not accepting that position as an employee, somebody else will come and sit into that position and he would be working, right? So there is nothing. So you're also greedy. You're working somewhere. You're greedy. And if you don't work, how would you feed your family? So there's nothing called greed or nothing called to be very what is that the other word for greed? I'm pretty poor at vocabulary sometimes.
Maybe pious or generous.
Yeah, pious or generous. No, it's not like that. Don't be judgmental, and do not expect any of the people or somebody has a gross margin of 70%. If you get to see the balance sheets of companies, somebody might be having 70% gross margin. It does not mean that he's greedy. No, he's running his business by paying all his taxes, and customers are happy buying that product at that price. Who are you to decide that this person is greedy? No, don't get into that such judgmental stuff. It'll actually corrupt all your mind. It's impossible. Don't get into the act of judging someone. This guy is greedy and this guy is not. That becomes a cinematic experience, and you would keep thinking this guy is a Chiranjeevi and the other guy is a Rav Gopal Rao. No, it won't work like that. Nobody is a Chiranjeevi or nobody is a villain. Everybody is everyone. As long as you're earning, you're not generous, if you ask me. That's how you should look at. Don't be judgmental at all. So for somebody else who's not understood, let me also take one more just in front of me. We'll take more examples during the next week. However, just for the interest to be created, I'm just trying to give you more insights of. Anyway, we have so many planets here in the Mesha and the Taurus. Aries and Taurus, you have so many planets. Now you see Ashwini, you have Venus. So the third and the the second and the ninth lord is in the Ashwini. So this fellow, again, it would show second lord, ninth lord in the Ashwini wants to achieve a lot of things. Okay, it's the same. It would show, and the 12th lord is in Bharani. However, the dispositors we are not taking right now because the dispositors is the Mars. So Mars is in Uttarabhadra. So the performance of Sun and Venus would depend a lot on Mars, who is actually dispositing both of them into Pisces. Okay. So Uttarabhadra will decide how both of these, the Ashwini, the Bharani planet and the Ashwini planet, both are dependent on the Uttarabhadra now. So what Uttarabhadra says, that way the Ashwini and the Bharani will work, having the Sun and the Venus with them. It's not rocket science. It takes a little bit of a time for the mind to start thinking in this way. That's all. There's no rocket science in this. It's a very simple, straightforward, simple thing. And you just keep adding whatever falls into it, into the loop. If you want to find out the second house, the only challenge here is the second house will have its representation on a lot of things. What are all the second house can be a significator of? You need to have an understanding of all of them, and then start applying the rules, and then move ahead. It will take a little bit of time. You need to be patient, and don't be impatient. Sometimes it's not working. You might be missing something, and you haven't got still yet the gist of everything. So my request is, be a little patient. It will take at least 1 year for you to understand all the nakshatras, the basic traits, and the nakshatras are too big. Actually, I'm giving you only 1/4 of what the significations of nakshatras are. Usually, it will take at least 2-3 hours as a whole lecture. That we will eventually do when we delve into the planets, rasis, and then because you also have to talk about the 4 nakshatra padas, the quarters of the nakshatras, Chitra, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Each planet will have 4 quarters. That also we will have to understand what each quarter is doing. It takes a little bit of time and effort. You cannot do it overnight or have mastery over all of these. My only thing is, have a systematic approach so that you're not carried away by so many things. Have a systematic approach, take a step back, look at the horoscope, find the planets, find the nakshatras, take an understanding of it, and then move on to the divisional charts. Looking at marriage, then look at the 7th house cusp, 7th house 7th lord dispositor, all this, and then decided on the nakshatras. First, have an understanding of how the nakshatras are working. Have a result just from the nakshatras in your brain. Keep that ready. And you would keep searching the same result in the D9. Once that happens, then you are unbeatable. You get all the results. I mean, I just had one prediction in the afternoon for one of our students. So, sure, okay, this person is not here. So, he was quite happy. I was trying to explain it to him how each nakshatra is connected, and was also in the Telugu class, so he knows most of the nakshatras. And the results came like a flowing river. I mean, he was very, very thrilled with the way predictions came up. So it's not rocket science, believe me. There's nothing rocket science. There is no divine thing that you need to have in your brain or anything. It's all nonsense. Don't believe in that stuff. All that you need is hard work and little bit of systematic way of understanding things. Have a system and do not deviate and do not try to bluff your own self. Because if you do not know, accept it. You do not know and move ahead and try to learn. That's the best way of learning. It will take about 3 years for you to learn the basics. Once the basics are very tight and very clear and distinct, set with 100 horoscopes at least. You need to have 100. Anything less than 100 you're looking at the collection, then you are at loss. Because no matter how many celebrity charts and stuff we do, unless you have your own people's charts or the people that you know, at least 100, if you don't have, it's very difficult for the rules to sit in your brain. They fly off very easily. Because today you're learning Kritika, if 10 days later, if we talk about Kritika, you would be blank. You do not even know. You can't remember because you cannot connect. If you are connecting to a person that you know and you know Kritika person, then it would sit in your brain forever. The moment you say, let us suppose there is a person called Subbarao who has got some Kritika connection. Just for an example, I'm saying. The moment somebody says Kritika in front of you, you'll get to Subbarao automatically. What happened to Subbarao? Okay, you go there. Unless you have 100 horoscopes with you, that's the minimum. And then once you start that 100, with that 100, you flow into 1,000. After you have seen 1,000 horoscopes, I'm not saying this is going to be easy. That's the only way. There is no other way you can remember all the rules, or there is no software that can help you with the rules. You have to master them by your own self. And don't think they are tedious. One of the most easiest ways of doing something is predicting something in an astrology. That's the most easiest thing, if you ask me, if you master the rules and have some patience. Okay, thanks for patiently listening to me. Hope the lecture was good. And be a little patient. We'll start doing the examples. Once we start with examples, I would encourage each one of you to bring in examples to us, so that you would feel confident, so that okay, sir is not giving any example, not bringing his own examples and try to explain. If I bring my own examples and explain, what happens is, one is, if you're a very logical person with a very good Mercury, your brain keeps thinking that, look, this man is not moving out of his comfort zone. Whoever is teaching me, Srikanth, this fellow is not moving out of his comfort zone. He's got, mugged up 10 horoscopes and just trying to teach just from those horoscopes. One is that. Second is, if your horoscopes that you know them well, if you get them and try to put them in the class, one is, it will be useful for everyone. Second is, you will get connected very easily and you can confirm those results. That will not only bring in confidence to other people, also will bring in confidence to your own self. Because that's what I do in my Telugu classes. I used to get horoscopes for the first 1-2 classes. Then people thought, let me give, sir, would you look at our horoscopes? Yes, why not? Yes. You don't have to reveal the names. And show it up for the class, and have an clear-cut understanding of what the chart is all about. You need to know the story of the person. And somebody might bring, like, there is a horoscope which came up to me, sir, he's looking at a marriage. I don't know who he is. I don't know his results, what his results are. It's a useless horoscope for me. You need to know what happened in his life, then only bring that horoscope. There's no point in bringing something whom you do not know. Okay. Thank you one and all for a lot of patience that you have shown while I was talking all along the lecture. Thank you. Any more questions anybody has just before I exit? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.